Number 11 says, number 11 from the semester test study guide, two angles are complementary if the sum of their measures is 90. Angle P and angle Q are complementary. The measure of P is 56. Write an equation and find the measure of Q. So they're telling you that the measure of angle P plus the measure of angle Q is 180. And then they tell you the value for angle P. Angle P is 56 degrees. So what do you know about angle Q? How do you go about finding the measure of angle Q? Subtract 56 from each side so that the measure of angle Q is equal to 34 degrees. Which answer choice shows you the correct equation and the correct answer? A. Number 12. Find the value of A. What kind of angles do we have here? Number 12. What kind of angles are these? They are vertical. Write this down. V-E-R-T-I-C-A-L. Vertical angles. Vertical angles are created when two lines cross each other. They are across from each other, and they are always equal. Okay? So if I tell you that this angle and this angle are equal, how can you use algebra to find the value of A? 5A plus 11 has to equal 2A plus 62. And then we solve our equation. Subtract 2A from each side. 3A plus 11 is 62. Subtract 11. 3A is 51. Divide by 3. A is 17. So A is 17. Now you have to go back and find the value of each angle. 5 times 17 plus 11. What's 5 times 17? 85. And 85 plus 11 is 96. So the correct answer here is C.
Wait, what? I don't see how you...
Do you understand how I got 17?
I understand how you got that, but I don't see how you were supposed to... I didn't know what number you were supposed to...
Okay, put a mark by it. Well, put a star by it. We'll talk about it in a minute. 13 says, the length of the rectangle is 11 centimeters less than twice the width. Okay, so here's 12 is on the paper. Let's look at 13. We have a rectangle. The length is 11 less than twice the width. So here's the width. 11 less than twice the width is 2W minus 11. The perimeter is 62. So what do you do when they tell you the perimeter? How do you find the perimeter? Okay. So W plus 2W minus 11 plus W plus 2W minus 11 is equal to 62. Now collect like terms. 6W minus 22 equals 62. Add 22 to each side. 6W equals 84. Did I calculate? Divide by 6. And 84 divided by 6 is 14. So the question says, what are the dimensions? Well, the width is 14. Now you have to plug in and find the length. 2 times 14 minus 11. 28 minus 11 is 17. So 14 and 17. And which answer choice is that? That's A. Number 14. V equals LWH, and you are supposed to solve for h. When it puts semicolon and h right there, they're telling you to solve for h. This is the equation you work with. The rest of that's just telling you what variable to solve for. So you want the h to be isolated. So everything else has to go away. Well, what's going on over there with that h? H is involved in multiplication with two other letters. How do you undo multiplication? You divide. So you need to divide both sides by LW. So H is equal to V over LW. And 14 answer is A. 15 says Angela's average for the first 6 math tests is 83. She took 6 tests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She got a total and divided it by 6, and it came out to be 83. That's how we average things, right? On her first 4 tests, she had these scores: 87, 76, 85, and 75. On her last test, she scored 6 points lower than her 5th test. Do you know what she scored on the 5th test? Nobody knows. I'm going to put X in that blank. What did she do on this test? We don't know either. But they told me it was 7 points lower than this test. So what would you write in the blank? X minus 7. What number has to be in this box? Well, I get 83 if I divide it by 6.
498.
So when you multiply 83 times 6, you get 498. Okay, so there's my equation. 87 plus 76 plus 85 plus 75 minus 7. You need to combine all those, and then you have actually 2x here. So I have 2x, and when I add those up, I got 316. Is that what you got? What's the next step?
You figure out how much you need to...
So 2x equals 498 minus 316 is 182.
It's actually 3.3.
Is it? Did you subtract the 7 from it? Let me add it up again. You got 87 plus 76 plus 85 plus 75. Then you got to include that negative 7, because see, she did 7 points lower. She made X on the 5th test, and the last test she made X minus 7. So you got to subtract that 7 in there. Now it's 316. So X is 81. So she made 81 on this test. On that last test, she made 7 points lower than an 81. So what would that score be? What's your score if you're 8 points lower? No, I'm sorry, 7 points lower than an 81.
81 isn't a choice.
No, I don't think that it is. What's it say here?
It says 77 or 84, 84, 91.
Oh, did I divide wrong? There, that should be 91. Thank you. 182 divided by 2 is 91. I had 81. I wrote that wrong. So this is 91. And the last test, she made 7 points lower than a 91.
84.
So that would be an 84.
I got the same thing when I didn't subtract 7.
So what answer choice do we want for 15?
I got B, and I didn't even subtract 7 when I added all those up.
Well, I don't know how that worked out for you, but 6x. Let's look at 16. It says 6x minus 13 is greater than or equal to 13. We solve an inequality just like we solve an equal sign. What is it that we need to get rid of? We need to add the 13 to each side. So it says 6x is greater than or equal to 26. Divide by 6. X is greater than or equal to 26 over 6, which simplifies to 13 over 3. So which number is a solution to the inequality? Can you use 13 over 3 in place of x? So my answer here is D. 13 over 3 is bigger than or equal to 13 over 3. It's equal to it, so it satisfies it.
I went through and I
placed each one in there. You can do that. You can test each number.
I'm doing everything you guys put about you did.
There's more than one way to work every single one of these. Number 17 says x minus 6 is less than or equal to negative 7. What do we need to do to solve this one? Well, pretend like that's an equal sign and you're trying to get x all by itself. What would you do to isolate the x? Add the 6. So x is less than or equal to negative 1. Now this one asks us to graph. So there's negative 1, there's 0, there's negative 2. Is there an open circle or a closed circle on negative 1? Remember, if you have these symbols, it's open. And if you have these symbols, it's closed. So this is a closed circle. Which makes it true? Is negative 2 less than or equal to negative 1? Or is 0 less than or equal to negative 1?
Wait, I thought it didn't really want us to graph, because then there's graphing options right here.
Yeah, they want us to graph it. You've got to choose the right graph. We've got to know which one to choose. Which one makes it true?
B.
Negative 2 is less than or equal to negative 1. So 17's answer is B.
So I got it right.
18 says B minus 2 is greater than negative 1. All they're asking you to do here is solve it. Add 2 to both sides. B is greater than 1. And that is C. 19 says M plus 12 minus 2 times M minus 22 is greater than 0. Do you have a question about number 18?
Yes.
Okay.
What was I doing?
Okay. Number 19, you're going to have to distribute first. It says M plus 12 minus 2M plus 44 is greater than 0. You have some questions on how I got negative 2M or 44. Then you need to combine like terms. 1M minus 2M is negative 1M. 12 and 44, both positive. When you combine them, you get 56. It's greater than 0. What do you do next? Subtract 56. So it says negative 1M is greater than negative 56. What happens when you divide by a negative in an inequality? You have to change the direction. So it says M is less than 56, and that is answer choice A. Number 20. Number 20 says 3 times B minus 4 is greater than 3. We'll pick up right here.